Hi everyone! So today's video is a requested video from BagsComeAndBagsGo, and on my last video she had just asked me to do a review on the bucket bag I was so fond of, which would be the Marc Jacobs Too Hot to Handle Drawstring Bucket. So I'm just going to do that review really quick for her right now. She's just trying to find this bag, so hopefully you find it helpful. So we'll just get right into the review. So unfortunately, the Marc Jacobs Too Hot to Handle Drawstring Bucket has been discontinued, but you can find them pre-loved. I know there are a couple on eBay right now. So this bag, I don't really know the years that it was manufactured, but it did come in two sizes. So there was the larger one, which is this size. It featured the top handle, and then it also has a detachable shoulder, or I'm unsure if it'll go crossbody at this moment, but so a detachable longer strap anyways. And then the smaller version of this bag is quite tiny, and it doesn't have the second strap. It only, like this little strap, it only has a longer crossbody or shoulder strap. I have never seen that bag in person, so I do not know if the strap is adjustable or anything. I just know that it's tiny and it just has the one long strap, and other than that it looks basically the same. I picked up this bag pre-loved from a local consignment store. I think it was a couple months ago now, but it was a steal of a deal, so I had to add it to my collection. Unfortunately, the couple that I have seen on eBay are not steals of deals, so I do hope that you can find one in a decent price point. I don't know how much this bag retailed for when it originally came out either. I apologize, but since it was Marc Jacobs, I'm going to guess it was around $450, just because his bags kind of ranged around that area. So we'll just get right into the outside features. So the only logo on this bag is this tiny little nameplate right here that just says Marc Jacobs. I think on almost all of the Too Hot to Handle pieces, it is the coated leather plate. Oh, it's just coated leather plate with the Marc Jacobs just embossed on it there, as opposed to other Marc Jacobs bags which have like that style number. It's like stamped in the metal. Hopefully you know what I'm talking about, but yes, on the Too Hot to Handle pieces, I'm pretty sure all of the plates look like this. This bag was also available in a few colors. I know I've seen it in a black, a tan, a lighter beige, which I believe is called praline. I think both the ones on eBay are the praline ones. I've also seen it in a baby pink, yellow, and I think I've seen it, it's either a hot pink, like a fuchsia, or it's a bright red. The pictures I've seen of it, I'm just not quite clear which color that is as it translates on the camera, but yes, so those were the colors. Oh, and this color, sorry, this color, which I believe is called Peacock, but I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty like 95% sure it's called Peacock. One thing I worried about when getting a drawstring bucket was the wear on the drawstring itself. And honestly, I picked this bag up pre-loved, and I'm pretty sure she was used quite a bit because the leather was unbelievably smushy and broken in when I got it. However, there was like no wear on the bag whatsoever, which is what I was so excited when it was so cheap. And then, so I'm just going to zoom in here so you can see. So this drawstring still looks pretty much brand new. I mean, it's broken in a lot, but even like the piping, or not the piping, the glazing on the sides and stuff, there's no cracking, peeling, anything like that. The leather has not peeled. The stitching is still completely intact on the whole thing. There is this one little piece at the bottom that kind of has a little bit of lifting. Oops, like right there, I think you can see it, but like honestly, it's barely noticeable. It doesn't impede function or anything. Yeah, this bag has held up. This bag has held up incredibly well, just in my opinion, especially because every time I go to get in and out of it, I am using the drawstring on here, and so there's been like no wear or like peeling, flaking of the leather. The glaze is still perfectly intact, so honestly I'm really impressed. I suppose if it was to go, one thing that you could do to kind of revive an old bucket bag would be to thread like a scarf or something through this and just tie like a knot in it, because I have seen a few people do that on Noes and Petite Noes from Louis Vuitton, and it looks really good. So it is nice to know that if parts of this bag did go, you could rehab it if you wanted to. But honestly, I'm not worried that this is going to go or break off or anything. It's held up amazingly well and still looks basically brand new in my opinion. I'll just get into some measurements now. So the drop on the handheld strap, you know what, let's just do it back up for a minute here so she's nice and tight. Okay, so the handle drop on the top handle is about 10 inches, so it is quite generous. I mean, you can put it on your shoulder if you want. It's quite in the armpit, which I'm not the biggest fan of, so I would only really toss it up there in a pinch. I just really prefer to carry this handheld like this. It's just, you know, swinging good old bucket bag. So again, that's just my personal preference, but that is how I carry it. Now for the adjustable shoulder strap, I'll just do a couple drop measurements on that. So it just clips on with, I don't really know what these kind of locks are called, but I don't know, they remind me of stuff people use for rock climbing, and I'm sure there's an actual name, but I don't know what it is. So currently there are five holes punched in this adjustable strap, and currently I have it set on the shortest one. So the shortest drop would make it about 21 inches. So really ample to go on your shoulder. The bag comes down, you know, where a standard shoulder bag would kind of hang, I guess. So that is the drop on the shortest setting of the longer strap. And here, I'll just measure it at the longest, just in case you guys were wondering. I don't even think anyone used this strap, to be honest, with this bag, because these holes are like new condition. No one's put it on the longest setting. All right, there we go. Okay, so it's quite a bit longer. So the drop on the longest setting is about 25 inches in length. So it only gives you about an extra, I thought it would give you more than that, but like 4 inches when you give or take on the adjustable range. I will also mention on this strap, it does have one of those little adjustable sliding, whoops, sorry about that, adjustable sliding loops, so you can make it hold the strap down no matter what length you have it on. And then just for the hardware detailing, it's this really nice gold hardware, and then on the two little grommets on the shoulder strap, it is embossed with Marc by Marc Jacobs on those little grommets as well. I think those are the only two grommets on the bag. I don't believe there are any more on the actual bag itself as opposed to just the detachable strap, but it is embossed on there. And there's also like these little leather, oops, dust on there, covering parts on the detachable shoulder strap clasp. I don't really know what function they would serve, but there is extra leather on those hardware pieces if you were curious. One thing I absolutely love about this handle is how it's attached on. It just has like the handle goes into this little gold cup, and I love that little feature. It is gorgeous. Another thing I'll just show you. So this strap is the rolled leather. It is also held up beautifully. There is no cracking on the glazing, anything like that. Honestly, this bag is like in immaculate condition. I absolutely love it. So just for the outside dimensions really quick as well, it does kind of like, it cinches and kind of has a little scoop here, so the measurements are not quite exact as on the height of the bag. However, I am getting that it's about 13 inches high, so give or take a bit on that, just because it might change by a few centimeters, but that is what I'm getting for the most part for the length of this bag. I'll just measure a bit further down for kind of the width. It's, you know, like quite circular, so it's going to be hard to get an exact width, but with the widest part of the bag, I would say it goes about 9 inches wide, so quite roomy, but again, since it does have that drawstring, it compacts the shape up quite nice, so it still looks really nice and put together when you're carrying it. It doesn't look too enormous or anything, so that is wonderful. The base, it has its own base, as you can see from the piping here, and also there is no piping wear, anything, cracks, marks, scuffs on the piping, which is also very nice. So it has this very wide flat base, which is great because your things, they'll move around. I'm not going to say they're going to stay where you put them, as it is kind of a bucket bag, but I feel it would stay more organized than it would with like a hobo style, which is nice because this is kind of slouchy and could be kind of hobo style, but I feel it's just like a more compact version as well in the bucket form, mostly because it has that drawstring and cinches up so nice. So the measurements on the bottom, so it is an ovular, an oval shaped base, so it's not fully round. That's the wrong end of the tape measure. So it's not a complete circle. So I am getting that it is about 10.5 inches wide. And then the height, or height of the base, I guess is what I mean. This measurement is about 7.5 inches, so quite an ample bag. But I don't find, like, when I'm carrying it that it's too bulbous or sticks out a lot. Like, this is just, put that back down. This is just such a gorgeous shape and so functional. I just love this bag to bits. So just going inside, I do have this stuffed right now, so I'm just gonna pull the wardrobe that I have in there out. Now this bag, oh, I'll show you this as well because it's a very nice feature, but the leather of the bag is stitched over here, and then it has a separate band of leather going all the way around that the grommets are put through for that drawstring. So that's really nice. Just this bag has a lot of really nice little details, and it's just, oh, it's gorgeous. So the lining of this Marc by Marc Jacobs bag is black. It's not the black and white Marc by Marc Jacobs. And then it just has Marc by Marc Jacobs stitched throughout it in a shinier black thread. So that's the lining of this bag. My bag, when I got it, did have a couple marks in the bottom just from whoever used it before, but I mean, whatever. This bag was such a good deal. I wasn't going to turn it down for a couple marks on the inside. So, alright, let me try to hopefully show this to you because it's pretty dark, but so on the one side there are 2 slip pockets, pretty ample. Well, the one anyways. The other one is a lot skinnier. Let's see. I can't really get, yeah, so the one pocket is a bit thinner than the other one, but both pretty deep slip pockets, so you could put, you know, your cell phone or sunglasses or something in there. And then on the back of the bag, I love it when the pockets are collared in leather, but it has a zip pocket collared in the same matching peacock leather, and then it just says Marc by Marc Jacobs embossed, not embossed. Is it embossed? It is embossed, sorry. Embossed with gold right there as well. And the zipper pocket is quite long, as you can see. And then it just has the little standard Marc by Marc Jacobs zipper pull there, and it just has around the circle it says Marc by Marc Jacobs. And then the pocket is very roomy as well, so you could put, I think you could even fit, to be honest, like a full wallet in there. A small wallet anyways, not like a huge one, but a small card case or like a clay or something could definitely go in there, and you could zip it up if you were just worried about security, since this bag doesn't zip closed. So yeah, honestly that's about all for the features and the dimensions. If you were just leaving it flopping open, that's what it looks like. I cinch it up. Since I took all that stuffing out, I'm just going to show you how puddly she is, because I love a good puddle. Just, could use it as a pillow. It's just, this leather is amazing. Like, honestly, I want to add a couple more Marc Jacobs bags, the older ones, purely for this glorious leather, because it wears amazing and it looks amazing. Yeah, I can't say enough about the quality of this bag. It is phenomenal. I am highly impressed with it. And yeah, if you are trying to find a pre-loved Marc by Marc Jacobs Too Hot to Handle bucket bag, I wish you luck, and I do hope you can find it for a deal, because yeah, that's why I like to hunt pre-loved, because I like to get a good deal. But yeah, so I did pick this up at a local consignment store. I know I've seen a couple of them on eBay. There are quite a few of the mini version on eBay, but there really isn't too many of the full size with the two handles that I've seen pop up. The two that I've seen on eBay right now are both in the praline color, so yeah, just some information for you. But again, you could try Bonanza, Poshmark if you're in the States, because I know a lot of people use that. Facebook groups, maybe? I don't know if there's a Marc Jacobs resale Facebook group. I don't think there is, but there could be. I don't know. I haven't actually looked. So yeah, just some places where you might be able to find it. Maybe Fashionphile, Yogi's Closet. I'm not quite sure how many contemporary bags they carry, but one of my favorite online kind of Instagram and internet resellers, which is called Forever Red Souls. Love them. Seriously, check them out. They have such amazing deals and such amazing bags. There are a couple that I am drooling on over right now on that site, and yeah. Plus, all the prices are in Canadian dollars, so for you Americans, everything is super cheap. But yeah, so that's my review of the Marc by Marc Jacobs Too Hot to Handle Drawstring Bucket. I do hope you find it helpful. Thank you so much for requesting this video. Bags come and bags go, and I really hope you can get your hands on this bag, because it is amazing, and I do not think you will be disappointed. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!